Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show. Tonight, we're talking about the Challenge 37 Spies, Lies, and Allies, episode 18. That is my lucky number, Night of Mistakes. I thought it was called Night of Eliminations, but that's just what TJ said. But it's called Night of Mistakes for some very important reasons that we are about to break down right now. Ladies, how is your Wednesday evening going?
Episode 18, they finally got good. So that's good. I've enjoyed, like, tonight was the old feeling I want, where you're like, yes, like you care and you're cheering and you're excited. It was the first time last week we liked, and I liked a lot, but this was the first that I like had that old fever back. So that made me happy. It made Wednesday night, chef's kiss.
Completely agree. I was in the kitchen pulling something out of the oven. I heard that the show was back on, run back in. Like when you used to watch it and be so locked in, and then you'd be upstairs and someone would call like, back on! You have to run back downstairs. I loved it. It was such a jam-packed episode that when Dan said Night of Mistakes, I had to really like think about what the mistake was, because I forgot how much we had to go through this whole episode. I loved it. And I also thought it was really emotional in a very sweet way. We saw Amanda, obviously it was like a coming of age moment for her. You know, we've kind of been with her through her whole growth and journey, and I felt like she went out really sweetly. There was just a lot of really cute things. Like we saw Jemmye with her relationship with Emmanuel. Just a lot of things where it was like very heartwarming.
We said that exact same thing about Amanda earlier in the season. We said, look how far she's come, because she used to be a bitch, but now we find out more about her history, how she's a nurse and how she's a mother, and how she's like can be so sweet, et cetera, et cetera. And then they say the exact same thing that we've been saying all season. TJ said it. So I was like, oh, wow. Like, I'm glad it's not just us that can see the growth in her. And the fact that we get to see that growth gets us attached to this character on the show, which is so important, which I really hope that they can do something different with 38 getting us back attached to people.
Yeah.
You ladies both loved it. I loved it too. The only sad part is it's like 18th times the charm. It took you 17 episodes to be like, okay, we're going to give them something they actually want to watch. It just can be a little frustrating. That's all.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
We've been watching for 3 months now.
Yeah, I'm still annoyed that it took so long to get this good, but I'm taking what I can get. Right. Super happy that it was good now. Really loved it.
Well, let's get into why it's called Night of Mistakes, because you're right. This episode was great, but there were some mistakes that happened. Well, we find out that basically there's 10 of them left, and they're going to do Night of Eliminations, which is really just 2 eliminations. The females are going to go first, then the males. The females get to go first here, and they all basically decide to pick Amanda, which I think were you all thinking that? Because I was like, okay, they're going to all obviously jump on the Amanda bandwagon here and put her down there.
I wasn't really thinking anything, and I don't think that was because I didn't think it was going to be Amanda. That was just me not wanting to make predictions. That was me sitting down and being like, all right, let's see what this episode is going to bring us. I'm just not going to assume anything. I don't really want to predict or strategize because I don't want to be let down. But when it came to her, I mean, I don't know. I guess it was the sort of thing where nobody sadly wanted to be partners with her or be on her team if it came down to it in a final. And she has some weaknesses that I think that people just didn't want to be paired up with. So I think
she also doesn't have the numbers like a Nani would have, because I consider her and Nani about the same in most of the challenge. What do we call them?
Physical.
Criteria.
Yeah,
criteria. Yeah,
very fair.
So. But Nani's got the numbers. No one was going to put Nani down there. I mean, and you got Jemmye, Casey, and Tori. I mean, technically, Jemmye is the rookie. They could have gone that path, but she's already been in 4 eliminations this season. And now that she's so close to CT, and everyone's seen her worth, they didn't want to throw her down there and have an opportunity, have the chance of losing her. They don't want that.
And it seemed like it was kind of important the way it got kicked off, because no one wants to say anyone. So I'm glad it was Emmanuel that kicked it off, and I'm glad he said Amanda, because frankly, I feel like she does. I hate the word deserve. No one deserve,
Right.
I think probably Nani's a smidge better. I think she's the least.
Let's spin zone it. She's the one who should fight the most to get into the final. She's the one that needs to prove herself the most to
yeah.
She deserves to be there.
I don't even, it's funny because now I've got an argument with myself / you on that. Anyway, I think Amanda has the least amount of hunger to win. I will say that. She plays in a way that is not to win. And be that kindness, stupidity, wonderful. I don't have a judgment on it. It's just facts. Like picking from her heart tonight, Tori. It's like Tori's gonna beat you, like probably. So you want to pick Tori because you don't like her. Okay, but take the consequences. And for her, it was like, I just can't do that to my friends. That 2 weeks ago, she was like, you bitches are sitting here talking about me. Like, how good of friends are they? Pick Nany, whatever. Anyway, so I think that was a big mistake. And I do think because of things like that, she is the least.
You're saying
make it to a final.
Choice of who to go into the elimination kind of represents how she plays the game, is what you're saying, with emotion and not necessarily with strategy.
Exactly.
You're right. It was not a smart gameplay for her. However, as a viewer, I liked it because it was one of those Jordan, Johnny, I'm going to flip over the skull moments, even though Jordan can go toe to toe with Johnny. Sure, that's a little bit of a different scenario. It's not exactly the same, but I liked it because we want to see that shit. We want to see maybe Amanda, the underdog, go against Tori, or we want to see somebody who's a great competitor like Tori in there. And the way that it played out it was good. It was really good.
I mean, at that point, I wanted Tori to backpack her. I was like, throw that bitch on your shoulder and carry her. And because it's like, all right, Amanda, you mess with a bull, you get the horns. So
well, she front packed her. She literally lifted her up like she was like they were going through the wedding threshold there, and she just carried her over to the football and put it in. Yeah, overall, yeah, it's great that she picked Tori because of the drama. But when I saw that it was a physical elimination, I was like, it's over. Like, I knew it wasn't going to be close. Which is why it's called the night of mistakes. If she picked a Nany, I think that match would have been very, very close. I do think in this case, Nany probably would have still pulled it out. But I don't know. Amanda had a lot of fight in there. So I think it could have gone the other way just as easily. So that's the disappointment I had. And also to say that Amanda needs to go in there and kind of earn her stripes. She hasn't done anything this season. I mean, Nany hasn't been into elimination this season. Casey has not been down there either. So I know Casey would have beasted the crap out of her, but Casey has not done anything either, and neither had Nany. So
true. Yeah, very true. Great point. I do wonder how that would have panned out with Nany and Amanda, because they both, even though they're, I don't know, maybe not as muscular or big in stature as Tori, they have some incredible fight. And I thought this elimination was great. It was very entertaining. And I was really surprised and impressed with Amanda. I thought that she actually was pretty skillful in the way that she was trying to fight off Tori.
Yep.
Because I was thinking, like, I wonder if any of the girls had gone into any of these seasons with any wrestling under their belts. Like, wrestling is a majority of male sport. Sometimes you see women sprinkled in, like hockey, it's not a sport that's necessarily like female driven. Right. So you think a lot of times when guys go into matchups like this, it's like, oh, they probably have wrestled at one point, whether it's like elementary school or middle school. They've probably like given it a go, But I was thinking, like, I wonder if the girls have any experience with wrestling that can kind of help them maneuver their body. But Amanda, she was pretty shifty there. Like, it wasn't just that she was a fighter and was hungry, which she definitely proved that. I also felt that the way that she was working around Tori's body in the first heat was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
With all that said, the football was never near Amanda's barrel. With that said, she did put up a fight, but it never even went onto that side of the field, if I can use that type of terminology for it. I mean, Tori had it in the back. At one point, Tori held her off with one hand, threw the football towards her barrel, and then carried her to her barrel and put it in there. It was absolutely incredible. So, and so tell us
Amanda was still in that though. Like, you look at this situation and you think this is Tori all over it, 100%. This is going to be a complete smashing, but Amanda made it a fight. And
the second act was though, Jenna.
The second act, yes.
Enough seconds to make it entertaining to watch.
Right.
Amanda put up a good
for sure. I was entertained. Yeah.
And I was like, beat her, Tori, beat her.
Yeah.
Why beat her? Like, I was getting scared that for whatever reason, Amanda would just scrap it away.
I wasn't scared at all. I can't believe you guys
second.
doubted that. I had no faith. And I love a good underdog story. So I honestly did not care if Amanda or Tori won, because obviously I like Tori a lot. If you guys want to check out our interview with Tori, it's from last week. We had her on this after show. A lot of fun tidbits, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So check that out. But so, I mean, I love Tori just in general as a character on the show. But I mean, I love a good underdog. So if this is how Tori had to go out, I would have loved to have seen it, because I love an underdog story.
No, but to Pam's point, it was enough to be worried. Like,
Yes.
I literally was like, I think Amanda could she actually? It was enough. It was really enough to worry. Even when she threw the ball, Amanda still hung on to her. But then it switches kind of like a light switch instantly when Tori just picks her up, which is very funny and pretty satisfying. I have no hate towards Amanda. People are multi-dimensional and whatever she goes through, whatever, she can be tough. She can be tough, but like, she can have her voice and her opinion on things. But it was satisfying because she has been talking so much shit about Tori. She was saying before she went down in her confessional, if you're so obsessed with me, come down, Tori. So it was a little bit like, well, now you got to taste your medicine. You picked this out.
I mean,
so it's humbling you that
ladies, not knowing the elimination at all, who do you think Amanda should have chose? I say Nani, no matter what. Okay.
No matter what.
Okay. So
first of all, I got really mad because it's like, has Tori ever mentioned Amanda? Like, all I hear is Amanda yapping about Tori, like, because you're obsessed with me.
Somebody wrote something very interesting in the comments, Pam, last week. Did you see what it said?
Oh, no. I didn't see it.
Amanda, they said that, I wish I had the name. They said that Amanda is mad at Tori because she got Fessy's sloppy seconds. Like, she was the second one to get with Fessy.
I did read that.
I don't know if there's any truth to that. Obviously, Tori didn't tell us that last week, but yeah.
Maybe Amanda is. Maybe Tori, maybe Fessy still had a thing for Tori during the.
Well, it looks like Amanda and Fessy are still doing their thing, so.
Let them have.
I mean,
yeah.
Amanda clearly does have very close and loyal friendships in this game. It's a sort of thing where I wonder how she chooses her friends, just because I was thinking if I was ever in this game or in this house, I just feel like if she were to dislike you, she would dislike you instantly, and that would never change.
Right.
So it's, so when she does have her close friendships, I'm kind of curious I don't know. I just thought she maybe disliked everybody.
Well, if you're curious, Jenna, I hear that Tori and Amanda get it on, not in that way, during the reunion. So maybe we find out, and this is why Tori couldn't tell us last week, maybe we find out more about why Amanda has such a beef with Tori during the reunion, because someone's going to ask, like the host is Maria Menounos. Maria Menounos is going to ask Amanda, hopefully, because Maria's a good host, hey, what's your beef with Tori? And then make Amanda answer the damn thing. So maybe we will find out what's the hell's going on.
I do think because she's been asked that on Twitter and her response is she's fake. Like that, I don't understand that. I think there's a fundamental difference in, like, Jenna, you were very nicely and democratically saying people are multidimensional. I think you're right. And some people are the kind of people that are like, you look like shit, don't wear that. And it's like, I'm not fake. It's like, other people might just be like, all right, I'm not going to throw out unsolicited opinions.
It doesn't mean they're fake. Got it. Yeah.
Fake. Right. Like being like, you look fat today isn't necessarily something you need to be frank about with someone. Like, I think Amanda thinks if you're not doing that or sacrificing yourself for a friend, you're fake. And it's like, okay, that is her prerogative to feel that way. And she does put her money where her mouth is. She does conduct herself in a way. So I can't say she's like a liar or anything. It just seems to me that there's no real fake doesn't mean, just as she might be multidimensional, like we'll see about rooting tonight. Like, that's not fake. That's not this or the other thing. It's like, people are people. There's more levels than one.
Right.
It's not black and white. It's like, yeah, what if Berna was going again? I mean, it's like when you're intimate with someone and you have a special relationship, you're gonna want the best for them, even though you want it for your friend too. It's not that logical, you know?
Right. And with that being said, we obviously know that Amanda still has negative feelings towards Tori today based off of her social media, but she did handle the loss with grace and credited Tori. So she has that, you know. Yeah, I also think, are you referring to the fact that Tori was helping Emmanuel in the elimination? I know we didn't.
No, let's not get, wait, hold on.
I didn't want to skip ahead. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think, thank God, Amanda. I was like, is she going to be like, fuck you, bitch? Like, and I was like, thank God that after that.
Yeah, she,
Yeah.
so we had some good drama during the female elimination, but oh my God, we got even more drama during the men's elimination night. Absolutely fantastic. It's called Triple Threat. Basically, everyone calls out Emmanuel. That's not true. A couple people put in,
Well,
they went for
Tori
Devin.
started the voting. Tori started.
Tori got to start it because, well,
she said
won.
Nelson, because Nelson said her, which, sorry, I mean, I'm glad we have.
Well, she didn't have much of a choice here. She wasn't going to say CT. She could have said, I think Kyle and Nelson were her only choices she could say because she's so good at friends apparently with Devin, and she's dating Emmanuel. So she can't say his name.
Kyle, I'm really mad at Nelson for saying Tori because, and unless I'm missing some, I understand that he's really good friends with Amanda, Casey, whatever. Tori joined his team and they like had a fighting chance. Like, I would go so far as to say Nelson wouldn't be there.
It looked to me that Nelson gave her a look like, hey, I can't put in Amanda. I'm going to say your name because I know you're safe no matter what. I hope that's okay. And that's the vibe I got because when he said her name, she gave him like an understand. It wasn't like she was mad about it. But then she had an excuse to use his name in the next round, of course.
At some point she said, I'm going in anyway. Like, Amanda's going to pick me.
Maybe that's why. But she was.
Yeah.
Nelson say Nani. Do they have any relationship? It's like Nani to me seems the obvious.
Well, if he has a relationship with either Casey or Nani, he can't say either name because they're attached. That's what's going on.
Teammate for the last. That's what I'm saying. It was like Nelly and Tori versus the world for the past. That's what I'm like.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, no one has skated more this season than Casey and Nani, and it's all getting under the rug just because they're not rookies. All the rookies have had to go in. Casey and I have to do shit, and I'll tell you more about that when we get to the final. Oh my God, I have stuff to say about them, but yeah.
I agree.
It was crappy though of Nelson to say Tori, and I think maybe she said whatever.
But who did you want him to say, Pam? Just Casey or Nani? Just throw it in?
Nani.
Okay.
Nani, because
I guess that's a fair point that he could have said Nani, but I really wasn't mad at him for saying Tori, just because Tori did say to him, I'm going to go in anyway. Like, right. Don't say your best friend Amanda
down there, right?
And that meant a lot to Amanda. And I mean, at that point, Amanda should have known that the numbers were against her regardless. So if her best friend said her name, he's still her friend. Like, there was going to be 8 votes for her anyway.
I like that. Well, I liked what Nelson did. I thought that was really nice for him to stick up for his friend. And she even said, he's my only friend in the house. That's nice to hear. At least she has somebody. So
right. Well, then you shouldn't have not picked your friend Nani to go against because you could have had a chance. But again, I don't.
Hey, night of mistakes for a reason, Pam. I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, all right. So Emmanuel's going down there. Who did you think he was going to pick, ladies?
Devin.
I thought he was going to pick Devin.
And I thought he was going to pick Devin as well. We find out that it's not physical at all, but I was assuming another physical one. I'm so dumb because I thought, oh yeah, it's gonna be another physical thing and he's gonna destroy Devin. I didn't think it was gonna be a puzzle. And of course, there's a million puzzles. Why wouldn't I think there'd be a puzzle?
I was laughing my ass off, and I loved that Emmanuel did too. He just started busting out laughing. And I know that these are not the rules of the game, and maybe I'm being a little baby about it, but I don't think he should have had to go in again. Like I said last time. He already fucking won, dude. Come on, put someone else in.
How many eliminations did Emmy go into this season?
4.
Sure.
Correct. Back to back. She got
back to back.
The challenge is an unfair thing, and that's what makes it so great. It's not supposed to be fair where everyone, Emmanuel, you did great thing. Go rest. Go take a nap. We got a heated blanket for you. Screw that.
Sure, but people get passes to them all the time. So this should have been one where he literally already won. You know
what they need to do one of these seasons then, ladies? Because I'm with you on this whole passes thing. Anybody that hasn't been into an elimination, that's who should have been in on the night of eliminations, not the people that have already proven themselves.
Maybe,
So
but
Casey,
also
I don't think
CT should have went down there. CT versus Nelson would have been awesome.
no, I disagree because there's politics to the game. There's a social strategy. So if you elude elimination, it's likely for good reason.
All right, then how come Emmanuel couldn't have politicked more to not get sent down there tonight?
They
Boom,
both
there
Oh,
it
he
is.
was a rookie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
there
was
that
a
just
rookie.
Dan, I love you, but for your fight, but you know.
And I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But what? But
Yeah.
what? I don't even.
But he was a rookie. He was obviously he couldn't have politicked his way out of that.
Oh, I see what you mean. But he
Yeah.
could have he could have tried to politic himself last episode when he didn't say one word
You're
during
right.
nominations. That was a little pathetic to me.
Well, I have a conspiracy. I have a conspiracy theory. There's no way they just had a puzzle selected before. There's no way.
You don't think? I
No.
only thought that because they knew Emmanuel was going in. And if they predicted, okay, what if it shakes out that Emmanuel gets voted in again? I think that they were trying to maybe even be kind by giving him a puzzle just because he was so physically exhausted from the physical elimination. I don't know.
Maybe.
Ryan Smith said that all these games are done before the season even starts. They know everything that's going to happen. Now, I don't necessarily agree with what he said on that podcast, the official podcast with Tori and Anissa, but that's what he said. I think what they could easily do, and this is why we love our conspiracies, is they find out Emmanuel's going down there, and it could have been physical or puzzle. They had two waiting, and they said, you know what? Let's make Emmanuel do a puzzle because we want to see Devin come back because he's a vet and Emmanuel's a rookie. It could be that way.
That's
Who the
my
hell knows?
conspiracy, is that like they wanted Devin to make it to a final.
I think they definitely did.
Yeah.
Definitely valid conspiracy. I'm choosing not to believe it just because I want to believe that it was chosen just to be an equalizer. Because think about how funny it would have been if maybe Emmanuel, not knowing he was actually pretty good at puzzles, because before the elimination started, I thought he was going to be like completely shot and have no chance. What if it was like Emmanuel versus a Nelson, who is pretty poor at puzzles most of the time? Not always, but that could have been, that would have been funny to watch. Kyle, hit or miss with puzzles, who knows? So I think I like to believe that regardless of who was going in, it was chosen to try to add some excitement, to try to make it a little bit equal, or, make that person work for it.
I mean, it was just funny that Devin gets the only elimination of the season that is like literally nothing but
3 puzzles, not one,
right,
not 2.
Like, and do this and then solve a puzzle as an equalizer. Like, you're gonna do 3 puzzles, and Emmanuel was not half bad. I mean, he got stuck on that middle one.
Well, all right. So here's my conspiracy with Emmanuel, just because I'll play the devil's advocate, just because I'll do it. Here we go. So I think he got real lucky on that first one and just put a bunch of colors down, and it happened to work out for him, because that can happen during a puzzle. You can accidentally get one right, but they did 3 different types of puzzles. That middle one was probably the easiest puzzle. Just throwing it out there. All you have to do is get the numbers to add up to the same number going each way, for me personally. So I think that was the easiest one, and he could not figure that out without Tori, which we're going to get into right now, helping him. And then the last one, I was lost on that last one. I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. But
so everybody's different, because I prefer the first puzzle to the second one. And if you don't know what you're looking for, I've never done a puzzle like the second one. I mean, I guess you can kind of figure it out. You think it's easy, but if you don't know what you're looking for and you're not putting the right number in the middle, it can probably be very hard, and you get stumped, especially if you're not a numbers person, you're not a math person. Now you're just staring at this canvas of all these numbers, and you're like, fuck, I don't even know.
Maybe you're right about that first one, because if you just take each block and make sure that to the left that never a color matches, then the next one down in theory should match up too. And then you just keep doing that process across, like of reading a book. Maybe you're right, Jenna. Maybe that one would. The problem is I want to do these puzzles. I want to do them so badly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be good at half of them. So
it's hard to do it. Like that middle one, if I didn't know that they had to equal 15, I would be completely lost too.
That's what I mean. Exactly. You're completely estimating. It didn't say that it had to equal 15.
No, it just said that, but you have to do the math. If you add up the highest amount of numbers that go across, it probably can't go much higher than that. So it has to be a lower than the highest number that they can add up to. Then you can do the math from there.
Okay,
But
see, good for you.
Good for you. Good for you, Disney.
Not
Dan.
how I spend my spare time, so I'd be fucked. Uh,
Like it, I don't either, Jenna. I just thought that might be a good way to do it. I don't know.
yeah,
Anyway.
but I will say, and this is no hate towards Devin either. I don't hate anybody on the show, but I was kind of enjoying myself a little bit of Devin stumbling around on that first one.
Oh, me
Well,
too.
didn't you send a text raving about this? Didn't you send a text to us in the group text all pumped up?
I wanted to live text this with them. I did not want to wait until the after show because everything was happening so fun and fast in real time. No, I was in. Well, when we figured out that it was a puzzle challenge, I said I'm dead.
I'm dead, right?
And Pam said, I think Tori is in love with Devin.
Which is garbage, but yeah.
Which is no, it's amazing. And I said, no. She said, yep. Dan said, no way. Why is she helping Emmanuel then? Pam, because she doesn't know she's in love with Devin yet.
Oh my.
But you spelled his name Devon. So
Devon, yes.
The phone
Well,
did it. So
well, why don't we get into our friend of the show, Tori? Holy crap. She goes out of her way to help Emmanuel. She tries telling the other people, I want both of them to win. Well, obviously, as we know, that's never happened in the challenge ever. It's not possible. Let's get your thoughts. You'll probably be a lot nicer to Tori than I'm going to be about this particular situation. So go ahead, Jenna. Well, how'd you feel about Tori helping Emmanuel over Devin? What's going on?
You know what? Listen, so I think in this situation, if you are viewing it, you could make the assessment that maybe she is acting fakely, right? Like this is what Amanda has said. And Nelson saying like classic Tori, helping Emmanuel.
Typical Tori is what they said.
Typical Tori, yes. Because you've been riding with Devin the whole game. You say he's your number one, but you've been sleeping with Emmanuel, and you're helping him out. So I could see how other people could say that. However, me watching, I'm just kind of like I know where Tori's coming from. I know she's in between a rock and a hard place. And I'm kind of like, oh, girl, like, I know what you're doing. I know what you're saying, but should you be doing it out loud? So that's why I wanted to ask you guys, like, I know where she's coming from. And I actually think she is sincere and not fake when she's saying that she wants both of them to win. However, that just cannot happen.
Correct.
So you have to understand how other people could be annoyed by you saying that, because that's not actually a feasible outcome. So the thing is, I just don't know. I don't know if she should have been helping him. I don't know.
Go ahead, Pam. Let me hear your thing before I go off here. Go ahead, Pam.
Okay. After Emmanuel won the first one, I think she was helping him on the second one. And I don't think she knew either. I don't think she like gave him was like, put two there, put two. She didn't get him to win. She was just sort of trying to help as best as she could, because he was literally like looking up for help. So it's like, I don't know, I don't think that was so awful, because they're like, you're helping him. And she's like, I can't help Devin. Like, I'm like rooting for both of them. One of them's looking at me, please help. Like, I do think she was just thinking out loud with him. She didn't give the code. She didn't know the answer. It didn't work. It's not like her,
she did go like this. She hit it from view and did the 5, which tells him to put it in the middle. That was that was it.
If Devin, the puzzle master, couldn't beat Emmanuel in 3 puzzles after Emmanuel already did, then he doesn't deserve to be here. I think like
Pam, it's hard to beat. It was 2 versus 1 in theory. If Tori's going to keep helping Emmanuel,
he didn't know the answer either.
He would have. She did. She said 5.
She
said
put 5 after that, because then Devin like literally did it in 3 seconds. So it's like, all right, Devin found his groove. So you still have to make it work. It still wouldn't.
I think Tori definitely gave him the answer. Like he didn't
at the second part, but when she was helping before Devin did the second puzzle, when Devin was still struggling with the first, she didn't know yet either what was going. She was like thinking it through.
It doesn't matter. She still helped Emmanuel and did not help Devin at all.
Not have Devin get picked. How much protection does Devin need from his
I guess my point is, if you want both of them to win, then you shouldn't have said anything. You should have sat there and said, I'm sorry. Let fate happen, because she was changing the fate by giving him answers. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I like Tori a lot, but I think that she would even admit that maybe she shouldn't have said, if you want both of them to win, like, or you don't care who wins at this point, because if you want both of them to win, that means either one winning you'd be happy with and you'll be sad no matter what. You can't help one and not the other. And the fact that Devin didn't need your help proves that possibly he deserved to win more than Emmanuel because he actually could do 2 out of the 3 puzzles better than Emmanuel. That's all I'll say about it.
That's what Devin does. Like, that's his. I feel like it'd be really hard. Again, I understand what you're saying logically. I think it'd be really hard to like have someone you care about looking at you, like literally, like
100%.
and you just ignore them because you're not going to betray Devin. It's like people.
And let's also say this: did Emmanuel choose his own fate? By he could have chose another person, right? And then Tori would have had no issues helping him, right? He would have been 100% not having to hide anything. She could have been screaming at him to do that. But the fact that when Emmanuel picked Devin, that put Tori in a hard place. So can we also put a little blame on Emmanuel? Because if he didn't, we didn't. Now he didn't know it was going to be a puzzle, obviously.
And and also he's not picking somebody based off of Tori's connection to
100%. But it didn't help his cause in the long run.
I think that Tori was conflicted. And Pam, I know what you're saying, and I agree with, if somebody you care about's looking up at you desperately, you just feel the need, your instincts, your whatever it is, friendship, romantic, maternal, whatever the instincts are, they kick in and you help somebody. Yeah. But I do think that it comes off a little bit shady, and I could see that. It's kind of that saying, like, a friend to all is a friend to none, like, I do think that people can generally mostly be friends with people, but if you are in that situation, you're kind of showing that you are pushing for Emmanuel to win the elimination as opposed to Devin.
Okay.
And it's not like it's all opinion. I'm not trying to tell you because you're like, okay.
No, I really do see what you're saying. I really do. I agree. Telling the 15 code, I feel like at that point it was, maybe he could have, for me, I felt like she was helping Emmanuel because he was not going to win. And and that is just like, look, I'm trying to help him out a little bit. Again, he's a rookie, whatever. At this point, it's deep into the season. Like, she's closer with him than she is with Nelson. It's like Nelson, if it was me versus Berna and she had been here for more than 3 weeks, like you would, not help her at all because vets, like,
I never really love when people help people in eliminations anyway, because I always just kind of feel like it's annoying and a touch unfair. But in most scenarios, it's very clear what the lines are and what the division and what the teamwork and alliances are. But in this one, it was super blurry because Tori's saying she wants both of them to win. However, she's only helping one of them.
I thought, and I do think that Devin deserved to win. He also, when CT tried to help him on that second puzzle, he said, no, I got this. He clearly did the third one all by himself. No one was even saying, I don't think anyone even knew what the hell that third one was. They were all confused by it, just trying to look at it upside down from a high vantage point. It was an angled board he was on. They could probably barely see the damn thing. So I don't know, Devin deserves to win. I'm back on Team Devin. I loved him this whole episode. I thought he was great during the puzzle. The things he was saying to Emmanuel in the last one, where Emmanuel was like, I'm one away. He's like, yeah, me too, man. Like, the stuff he was saying was really, because he was being comedic during a very stressful time. Like, you can't beat that type of comedy during stress. It was great. So
he was very fun this episode. I agree. He added a lot of
Jenna's on Team Devin for at least episode 18.
I agree too. I just wouldn't have minded seeing him get a little pumped. I didn't want him to win ultimately, but I was like,
yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah. It's like, okay, let's be honest. The real puzzle master is CT. We talked about that, right? It's like, Devin, you're good at it in comparison to your physical strengths, but you're not better than CT. Like,
Devin
or Nelson. Furthermore,
do you mean for just puzzles, Pam, or do you mean overall? Because in puzzles, Devin's looking good in this final too, which we'll get into. And he looked a little better than CT, even though CT was rocking the house too. Devin looked real damn good in those first couple. But anyways, we'll get into that. We're down to our Elite Eight. Here are the boys: CT, Nelson, Kyle, Devin. Here are the ladies: Emmy, Casey, Nani, and Tori. I like every guy left in this final. It's hard for me I don't even know who to root for the guys. The girls, there's one clear person I'm rooting for. Anyone?
Tori?
Tori, correct, obviously. The other three,
because
no, thank you.
you hate on Casey.
Yep.
You think Nani shouldn't be there. I
Yep.
don't really know your full view on
Emmy.
Emmy.
Emmy learns that she's going to a final, and I think that she collapsed to the ground and passed out. She's 13 years old. I don't want to hang out with a 13-year-old. No, thank you. Pam's on my team with that one at least. Woo.
I still find Emmy unforgivable for what she did to Michaela. Justice for Michaela. Let's just record scratch, rewind back to that moment. I still find that unforgivable. However, I guess in character arc, I have come around to her personality on this season. Just because she's worked very hard. She performed very well in elimination. So she definitely deserves to be there. She has shined as a rookie. There's just always like the thing that pokes and prods when you think about her X Factor performance. So that always just comes back.
I wasn't even thinking of that. That's awful. And the fact that, they're not even, I don't even know if it didn't, I don't know. Did that not become a big enough story where she was not edited out of this season? Or was that, why didn't she get the D treatment for that? I still don't know. I don't get it. I can't figure that out.
She was too present in the season where D was eliminated, I mean,
D was but remember the season that D got eliminated from? She was like the evil genius. She was like she was the bad guy that season, the main bad guy, and they just took it out. It was crazy.
And Rogan, that was the whole plot, her and Rogan.
Oh, that was a great, that was interesting.
He put it on Twitter and like the whole world could see it. This is like an obscure show. I still haven't ever seen what we're hearing about. Like I've heard it, but it's like, it didn't happen because they're able to sweep it under the rug. That's why. Because if you get caught, you get caught and they don't have a choice. This is like so loosely, it's like something sort of going around. I like Emmy's performances. I agree, Dave. She's 14. That's exactly how I feel about her. Like, yeah, I'd like have fun day at Great Adventure with her, like a little cousin, and then like, but her theatrics are like.
And let's be honest too. At least the last elimination, I can't really remember the other ones. I mean, didn't CT do the puzzle for her? Like, let's be honest.
She hasn't been doing anything great until. So should we just? I don't want to cut ahead. We get to the.
Well, we can get to the elimination, and we can
say
you're of the year for sure.
Yeah.
Like, as a result for her
and real quick, Jenna, is there anyone that you're rooting for in this final?
Nelly.
Okay, so Nelly and Pam, is there anyone that really you're standing out to?
I forgot about Kyle until when I was like, who are the guys then? Devin, CT, Nelly, and I was like, I just remembered Kyle. What are Nelly's stats? I should have looked this up. Has he ever won? Has he ever come close or final?
I don't know.
He's never won. He's never won, but I'm trying to think if he's been to an elimination. I can look it up in 2 seconds because there's like a wiki thing, but go on.
I know it's, and Devin sort of, now that they're a cell, I'm like, well, this is easy. Like everyone I like is on one. And I like Nelly too, and I want him to win. But I think he also, I hate to say it, kind of like Amanda plays a bad game sometimes, like lets his heart, doesn't play, is hold it a little closer to the chest, Nelly. And
totally not strategic. Yeah.
Yes.
So Nelly went to the final in Invasion of the Champions, which I don't, and then he went to the final this time. So this is his second final. He's never won though.
He's ready to go though. I mean, except for the last puzzle that we didn't get into yet.
I think I remember Invasion of the Champions.
I would once I saw. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But anyways, all right. So let's get into that. Want to get into the final? Yes. Final?
Yeah. Talk about any of your little vignettes before.
Okay. We can talk about those, Jenna.
I have a few vignettes.
For me. Okay. I'll let you say whatever you want about them. I was like, okay, no, but this is not that anything bad, but like, literally. Let's throw everybody's storyline in 2 seconds and all these vignettes when they should have done that maybe at the beginning of the season. We find all this stuff out. I just didn't. I had no rooting interest. I was like, let's get to the final. I was ready for the final. I didn't want the vignettes at that point.
I have a few highlights then. My highlights are when Devin comes back in and he's saying a similar thing to what I said before. Well, you want both people to win. Both people can't win. Whatever. That's fine. The highlight of that is CT breaking the fourth wall a little bit, looking at a camera, doing little eyebrow raise, just had me melting. I was like, this guy, he's so fine. I cannot look at this man. What?
Devin said
it doesn't matter what Devin said. It doesn't.
CT's moment.
The highlight is CT breaking the fourth wall, looking at the camera and raising his eyebrows. And it's just unfair. That man's looks.
Jenna, is he the hottest guy ever to appear on the challenge?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Just checking.
And better, and gets better. That's what it's like.
Pam,
everyone else.
you as well. CT is the hottest guy to ever appear on the challenge.
Talk about it.
I think so. Yeah.
He's up. He's like top 3 for you, but maybe not number. You have to think more. You'd have to get back to me, maybe.
Like like in that I can think of. Yes, I can't think of anyone. Huh? I mean, if I like looked over cast photos from forever.
Well, I understand. Yes, of course. Yes.
If he's not sticking out, it's obviously CT. The other highlight is it's just interesting and curious that again they waited to the 18th episode, but finally we get to see Nany and Casey in love.
Oh,
and I love it. It's so cute. I thought it was so cute. They're cuddling. I like they're a little playful. Like Nany's like, yeah, but I'm gonna be in front of you the whole time. I'm just happy that we get to see them being the romantic couple that they are when it's been 18 episodes of like none of that.
So my thoughts on that scene, and it's gonna be mean, but they were sitting there and they were like, oh, we both did so good this season. We did so awesome. I'm like, you didn't do anything. You got lucky in the politics. They were doing only vets. So I couldn't. I was like, no.
And you were on a freaking team that dominate. Like Casey, you're good at knocking people over. Okay, so when Nany came back to the challenge, I was like, Nany, I love Nany. And
okay,
she like when she came back like with turbo, like after a long time. I was so team Nany, yay Nany. She didn't do much. She hasn't brought that much. I like her. Then I was excited because Casey I really liked from Big Brother. I watched it. I liked her. She won. She was cool. She was down to earth. I liked her. They've made me hate each other. They've like canceled each other. Like, you know, some people like better as a couple. Now I'm like, both of you, bleh, boring.
Damn, y'all.
Casey's made Nany boring. It's like
that. I mean, Jenna, you can't admit that. I mean, Casey's a
so
boring character.
Too.
Casey's boring. Nany used to be interesting.
Boring.
Now Nany's with Casey, and they're both boring. I mean, it makes sense to me too. I'm 100% on Pam's side on this.
I don't think Casey is boring because I think she is level-headed, and that's why I like her, because we need a mix of people who are also just down to earth and have a temperament about them, and not everyone is going to be as explosively emotional as Josh. So I like Casey, and also I think that Casey, you can say that she skated, but it's also because people did not want to go against her.
She's good at knocking people down. Yes, like she's
whatever.
Casey's good. And Casey is not crazy, aka boring on reality TV, like at all. I think Casey, like on Big Brother too, which made her likable to stay in a house with forever, and strategic and nice and genuinely easygoing. And if I had to be friends with some of them over others, Casey over Amanda any day. TV, Amanda over Casey any day. Now taking our fiery, exciting Nany, who would get drunk and throw a cup of noodles at people and get into fights and hook up with people, and they're just nesting. And it's like,
and that was more recent.
I think that it's age that she's no longer throwing ramen cups at people.
No, that was recent. Jenna, that was like 2 seasons ago.
Really? There's been so many damn seasons. I feel like that was 8 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't like that was back in the day. That was like a season ago.
Yeah, it was a couple seasons ago. Yeah.
I don't like a settled down Nany. I'm sure in life I would love to hang out with them. On TV, spare me, give me some drama or something.
Pam, I mean, we always like to disagree with stuff. I'm on Pam's side. When Nany was single, she was so interesting. She was so interesting to watch her interactions with these guys that she was trying to date on the show. I loved all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I get you. I feel you. But there's something about a mature Nany in love that I don't mind. And I don't mind that Casey's like boring.
Jenna,
either,
we can follow them on social media. Then I don't need to see her on an hour-and-a-half episode where nothing happens with them. That's all I'm saying. I'll go check their Instagram once a week or probably once every 3 months and just be like, oh, they're still together. Great. And we move on with my life, you know?
I follow both of them. I enjoy seeing them cute and happy. I don't need the still picture on my TV once a week.
Still picture. Pam's on fire tonight about Nany and Casey.
No, and again, Nany, it's like I am the whole we did so great, we worked so hard. Again,
that's where I fell off the wagon there. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm off the bandwagon 100%. I cannot be on that one.
It wasn't just that they're nice.
Saying that they need, or at least Nany maybe needs a reality check in that.
Yeah. Well, we just watched maybe a quarter of the final. Oh my God, Nani was lost out there, and she's actually like been on this show forever. So I don't know
We
what
have
the
to
hell
talk
she's up
about-
to.
So Nani cheating off CT still came in last.
I know. I wrote it down too, Pam. It was like, I was like,
I was
God,
like-
this is so great and I feel like they used that cut on purpose because she said she was going to cheat, and they filmed that after, obviously, because she
They
said in
show
the
her and Emmy
confessional.
at that point, like going to look, and Emmy loses.
I mean,
a
Jenna,
match.
what's your thoughts on that part of Nani? I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. I was like, how the hell is she still here? I thought she was cheating.
You're allowed to cheat if
That's
someone.
hilarious. Yeah, no, it's definitely really, really bad.
All right, so that's the first thing that happens. We get to that puzzle, and Nani comes in last. CT finishes it like crazy. Tori comes in second there. Nelly's really trying to show his strength. Nelly, I feel like we said earlier, like we were rooting for Nelly. Nelly like wants it. He's running so fast. CT even said, "Oh, you're celebrating like you just won after you just finished a freaking puzzle, bro. We got 2 more days of this," which I laughed out loud when CT said, "We got 2 more days of this, bro." It was like so good.
And then later he yells at him again. I love CT getting super annoyed at Nelson for being like, "Woo!"
Because Nelson is, but hey, you know what? I love that. It's hard to not root for Nelson when he is just so passionate. He clearly wants to win so badly. I don't know if he'll have enough. He'll have enough heart to do it. I don't know if he'll have enough of everything else that's needed, all of our assets, like we talk about, to actually pull it off, though.
I mean, listen, I was so proud of Nelson for coming in third in the puzzle. He's the second guy to do it. I also was really proud of Tori too, because in the past we've seen her in finals not really be very efficient at puzzles. So I think that she definitely did her homework in the off season and that she practiced. I think she for sure did, and it's showing. And now that she has the brains to match her brawn too. And I think that she's performing incredible. Super proud of her in the puzzle. So proud of Nelson in the puzzle as well. And was just like, CT is just the baddest bitch in the game. Like he just like literally the threat in every column.
He's not
he's not good at. Yeah. But we did see on the hill sprint, Nelson kind of swoop up in front of him a little bit. But like, a little bit.
And we also see during the wire puzzle that CT struggled a little bit during that because obviously Devin beat him there. So, but yeah, I mean, CT just, and he's also in shape now. He just looks like such a beast running. But then again, Nelly did pass him going up that hill.
Nelly looked like a superhero too. Like he literally ran like a superhero.
Like he wasn't even tired. This is what he trains for. He is in incredible shape.
I mean,
are you talking about Nelson?
Nelson, yeah. And
yeah.
CT is in better shape now than he was. How long ago was Battle of the X's? Let's call it 7-8 years. When he was going up the mountain, when DM was his partner still. I've never called her DM before. I always call her DM. Either way, he had a really tough time going up that mountain that one time. But remember and she was like, "This is like the best anti-smoking campaign ever." He just was huffing and puffing.
Yeah, no, she had to get him, and they ended up getting second place because of that, correct? Yeah.
But that really was like nostalgic for me watching him tonight. I was like, damn, look at him going up that mountain. This is no Battle of the Exes. Like, he's doing his thing now. This is not how it was then.
He's matured so much as a player that, I mean, in all the big ways of like not punching people in the face, obviously, and hooking up with people, but he just plays a good game. Like he's not getting into this shit. Like you don't see him, but he's still so interesting to watch. I mean, he's truly a fascinating. There's a reason why he's CT and why he's still fun to watch. He's really good. He can be unproblematic and still the most like dramatic person on the episode, just because his strategy affects so much of other people's gameplay. CT for Prez. But that map, I would have had no fucking idea. I would have been like, can I time out? Can I just time out?
So you would have had trouble putting together just a map of the world? That part of
it was like the whole world.
It was the continents, right? It was the map of the world. So that part is that would have been easy for me. I just think, but I think finding some of the countries may have been hard. Like, I'm not exactly sure where the hell Romania is. If I saw it on a map, I'd be like, Eastern Europe.
Eastern Europe. Yeah, it's the Eastern Bloc, I think, like Romania. But
what's tough about it is I think how all puzzles are when you look at it head on, you're like, oh, that's gonna be easy. I'll figure that out. And then you get the pieces, and it's the way all the lines are on all of their separate pieces that made it difficult. Because there's just a whole bunch of, when you're looking at a puzzle piece, it's just like lines in a corner or lines at the top. You're not really making out what country it is right away. It's
Well, they had, if I see South America, I know that's going to go on the bottom left quadrant. You know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't South America in full is what I'm saying. It's like a few, it was lines.
What was it? Was it 6 or 9 pieces? I think it was 6, right?
Oh, that was it. Okay.
So if it's only 6, it's a good chunk in each one, is what I was thinking. But whatever.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I thought, oh yeah, with all the lines and like designs and stuff, it could be kind of hard.
Maps, I'm not like that. I'm not good at maps, geography, anything like that. Like I have a general sense, but like if I had to like put it together.
Yeah. Well, with that said, we're very impressed by Devin, it sounds like, and CT, Tori, and Nelson. There's the other half of these people that I'm not very impressed with in the final. Now, I'm going to give Emmy a break here. It's her first final. She is going to be in over her head mostest. Luckily, she's now with a cell with some strong players, so she's going to do pretty damn well, I think, now. But she was struggling. And then let's get to it right here. And I keep throwing all the hate out at him, but Casey can't do puzzles. Nany can't do puzzles or run, so Nany's really screwed in this. And there you have it. They skated through the season, and now they have to actually perform, and they can't.
I think Emmy really only struggled with the first puzzle. When it got to the helicopter part and jumping in the water to swim, I was thinking being Tori and CT in this situation, having the edge in the swimming is so important because swimming is so hard. Even if you're a great swimmer, it's still so, the endurance is so high. So I'm like, that's really the part that you probably want to be in the lead for. The little jet ski things that they keep bringing in. Why? Like, why?
They didn't even have to swim this time.
They cut him a break on the swimming, let's be honest. But I do think that there is some skill in maneuvering those scooters, not to the degree. I just noticed that Devin actually, I thought he was holding on with one hand at one point and kind of trying to grab a flag instead of waiting. So I thought Devin maybe had it down better than everybody else, but I think there might be a speed, like you can catch up using those scooters if you know how to maybe be more aerodynamic. Now, I grew up on a lake, but I didn't get a scooter, so I don't know about how to use the scooters. I just think there's some skill to it, is my point.
I was rocking with it for the sake of the episode and being invested, but I also was like, I'm going to let this slide. But
I agree. It's lame. It was lame. I thought they should have swam more. Make them get tired, damn it.
I like a good swim challenge. I didn't mind it for them. I'm like, that's nice that they get to like scooter to the thing. But yeah, that's always a good equalizer too, because some people are really good at it and some aren't, and it's not the same as running. So I like it. I wish that they had to actually swim, but Casey, yeah, girl, you study some puzzles. You know, if you can't do those things, you can't win a challenge. Like if you can't do one of those things, and she really can't, it's like, yeah, you're in last place, girl. Like you practice your puzzles.
Agreed.
And there's going to be more of them. There's going to be more. Go. Sorry, Jenna.
I mean, it's almost as bad as being like, you can't run. Like you can't not be able to do puzzles. You obviously, if you're not great at it, fine, but you can't always be the worst. I mean, that's like, you're not good at it. That skill set that's required to win. You know?
You were going to say something, Jenna.
It was moving on. It was moving on to the second puzzle portion. Loving Devin and CT together. It was very fun. Devin's sense of humor throughout participating in an elimination has been very fun. CT as well. All of them are really rooting for each other, which is sweet. And that was something, like I said at the beginning of the show, is that I really liked actually the emotion of this episode and how cute everybody was towards each other. And even when Tori is making her way up the mountain, Devin's like, I'm gonna forgive Tori, like it's all good, I think she's really my friend. And I'm like, that's so cute. Everyone's just in it.
Did you hear Devin's thing during his elimination where he said, like, as a kid I worked really hard to get good at puzzles so the kids at school wouldn't make fun of me? I was like, how am I not back on Team Devin? I got made fun of all the time in like elementary and high school. So
he said he was dyslexic. Okay. So he had to memorize reading. So that way, when he went to class the next day.
Okay, is that more of it? What was about? Okay.
He would be able to read the words.
But either way, like I got made fun of a lot, and I appreciate someone that uses a different skill set to get good at something, so that you're not behind or made fun of or whatever the hell it is in life.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe for people, because Devin did become arrogant, though. He definitely has that arrogant streak. So Listen,
And
again,
he
no
had
hate,
her as
but
a
I mean,
defense.
let's just be honest. Let's be real. He definitely can be a little bit pretentious with his
You're also because you're watching him on Are You the One right now, so
Sure am.
you're
Sure
seeing a version of Devin that does not portray him in the best light. Recency bias.
And he grows, recency bias for sure, and he does grow, but he's so much better now. Like he's no way that version of himself, but like it's still there at the,
Oh, it is.
Still-
Yeah, he can be a jerk. That's for damn sure.
You have
All
to
right.
play the cards you're dealt, and Devin has a sharp mind, and he uses it.
He uses it. We get cells again, but they're not calling them fancy colors. They just go orange and purple. They don't try to go Orgenta and Perpella. They just say orange and purple, which is nice.
I liked individual. I did write fuck cells, but
You don't want the cells.
Really minded that. I liked it
You
individual.
notice when
Again,
Pam moves around, that's when her internet goes, Jenna.
Fine with it. It is. I'm fine with this one because the dominant one I like. So I'm okay with it. But I do think that it's really unfair.
So you're being biased just because you like the people.
Right,
I feel you.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna last. It might be just because TJ was like, it's gonna last as long as I say. So it might just be one.
My thing is like less of having a issue with the cells specifically. My issue is more so of like the start and stops of finals. Like I just want the whole thing to roll, if it's going to be individual, I just want it to be a whole foot race the whole damn time, like
I know
the starting and stopping never really makes sense to me because now that they're cells, they can't really use the calculations of any of those times before that the individual competitors had gathered. It's not coming down to time. The time was used to put them in better positions to continue to thrive. I get that. So the person with the best time got to get to the mountain to the top, and they got to do the puzzle first. So then they therefore get to pick their cell, or they can make a stronger cell. And the people that lose, it's kind of like the scrubs coming together, you could argue. But I still just like let them keep going, because now I feel like starting and stopping is giving people breaks. It's messing with momentum. It's not really a true winner racing to a finish line.
Good point.
Well, it did set up these cells though. And I think all three of us probably agree that purple's a little better than orange, but I think that purple does have some issues too. But these finals usually come down to a good puzzle or two. And Devin and CT are going to rock the shit out of a puzzle. So I'm sorry, but I think purple is the better cell out of the two. And the reason that was set up the way it was is because people had to finish in a certain time and then they could choose. Well, because that's the bonus of the time thing. But I'm with you 100%, Jenna. I want the old school way where they add up the shortest period of time or get a head start on the next thing and the continuous motion of it. So they actually start to get tired. And maybe we see that more next week. Maybe they push them to the brink a little bit more than this week. But this week, they got plenty of opportunities to rest, especially during puzzle time, where you just have to stand there and use your mind and not your legs. So
they ran up the mountain, but other than that, they had the scooters for swimming, and they did 2 puzzles.
That mountain was no joke, though. I don't think we should be
no.
And being in the heat, I mean, that's still an exhausting day. Think about if you ever just do something that, I don't know, you're on your feet for like an hour. I think that's exhausting because my life is sitting on a chair so much, So think about, they are on their feet, they're swimming, even though it's maybe not that aggressive of a swim, it still kind of takes you out, and then sprinting up that mountain, it's definitely still.
Yeah, get $1 million when you win. So,
You're right. You're right. Yes. Bring me back down. Sometimes I forget about that. Sometimes I go Nelly T and I forget that there's money and I'm just in it for the love of the game.
Right. No, I agree with what you guys both said, though. That's really true. I didn't realize maybe that's why it jarred me more than because I like the team. I think they're good. It's just like, oh, you're mixing it up. Don't say this is an individual thing and then turn it into a group thing.
But you could tell they were going to do it though, Pam, because they're using some of the same puzzles from earlier in the season. So they've done this in challenges before, like on Battle of the Rivals 2 when CT and Wes won. Everything from that season was then repurposed for the final. So they've done these type of things before with now they're repurposed the wire puzzle and things of that nature. But I do think
well, they
that
front loaded this part with puzzles. Do you think we're done with puzzles for this or no?
I think there's going to be a massive team puzzle that they're all going to have to work as a team to solve, because then there's going to be, too many chefs in the kitchen and there's going to be drama, and then maybe they'll have to eat food coming up. Maybe they'll have to smell candles coming up. Who knows?
Periodically, I'm like,
It's
what
so good.
Huffing over there.
It's so good. It's called spiced honey and tonka. It's
Oh,
so
we
good.
can almost smell it from here, Pam.
No, I just
Oh my God, it's so good.
olfactory hallucination. I did. I smelled the spice.
When she said spice, I smelled a little spice, and I was like, man, that is one of those mind-bending fucker things, that happen. Yeah.
I think, in agreement with you, Dan, about the two cells, the thing that makes Purple so much stronger, in my opinion, is that I actually don't see them having weaknesses. So I was curious what you meant about them having their own problems too, is because I think, what is the other one? Yellow? Their weaknesses are
orange.
Literally,
yeah, it looked yellow to me, but it was technically orange. Yeah.
Their weakness is literally, I think, puzzles. Like
100%
maybe Kyle.
puzzle. All right.
Maybe Kyle could save him a bit. Purple does not have that weakness.
Purple's weakness, it could be endurance, because I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed from what I saw from Jemmye yet, and I'm not impressed from what I just think about Devin. I think that Tori and CT will run until, like we said, he collapses on a mountain with Diem 18 years ago, whatever the hell that was. But I think that Orange is going to have a difficulty with puzzles and endurance, because you have Nany, and she's going to be an anchor. She's not going to run. We've never seen Nany run forever. She always gets tired. She always lags behind. So that's why Purple is still the stronger cell. Puzzles, and I think it's going to come down to a puzzle. So they're going to destroy it. But I do think there could be some endurance with Jemmye and possibly Devin. I do have a weird feeling about them in endurance
I think
situations.
They both really want it though, so they'll hustle a little harder than.
And that's a great point, Pam, because it's Uncle CT, Jemmye, and then Devin always wants to prove that he's not just a puzzle head,
And also, like Pam just reminded me, $1 million is waiting for you.
Sure.
So, and the adrenaline really kicks in. Do we know if it's one more episode of the final, or are there 17 more, perhaps?
I really hope that was part one, and that we're just, literally it's an hour and a half episode next week. How do they not finish a final?
Finished.
Yeah. They gotta finish next week. So we're looking at, that's episode 19, with episode 20 being a reunion, and then probably 21 being reunion part 2. So where does that put us?
Oh, there's 21 episodes.
I'm really stoked for the reunion. I want the reunion now.
That
tonight.
looks like, if next week is the 15th, that's going to be it's over on the 15th, December 15th, which means the first reunion will be December 22nd. Which I won't be available for. Well, maybe I could be. We'll see. I won't be here.
Basically.
Oh, Christmas times. Yes.
I'll be Christmas time. And then the 29th, during our Christmas break, would be reunion part 2. But I hope they just do one. That's going to max it out, though, at the end of December. I don't think it goes longer than December 29th.
Yeah, no.
Good, because I have a lot of Are You the One to watch now, because now I'm a big fan of that show.
And if you guys are like, if you at home are like, oh no, what are you guys going to talk about now? Well, we're over on Patreon doing our All-Stars chat every week.
Yeah.
And All-Stars season 2 is getting real good. So hop onto our Patreon, The Challenge After Show. Just type in patreon.com/The Challenge After Show. We come right up for $1 a month, ladies. That's it. 25 cents an episode. You can listen to us, and we talk for hours about All-Stars and how much we love it. You're going to get a different Dan. You're going to see a different Dan. different Dan over there. He's real nice. He likes things. He's different. Not mean. He says night. Jenna, right? You didn't even know who you were talking to last episode.
Is that so?
Oh, maybe I was mean. Was I mean during All-Stars? I thought I did only nice things.
I'll fuck with you. No,
you were nice.
I think I complained about Katie because I didn't think she put enough effort in. Well, I'm sorry.
You were soccer dad.
I had Haiti for Katie was my joke I made. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's fair.
That was fair.
Ladies, let's do some predictions. Who the hell's winning this thing? Who do you think it's going to be a guy and a girl win? Is it just one person winning, guy or girl? Like, I think they need to split up that million, but what do you think?
I think they're going to do a guy and a girl.
You think?
I think it's just going to be one winner.
Has there been a sole winner for 1 million? Did Cara win 1 million?
Cara won 1 million.
Ashley took home.
Millionaire Mitchell.
Ashley, I think Cara only won 500,000 when she won.
Okay.
Johnny Bananas stole it from Sarah, so that wasn't that $1 million for him, or no? They were still doing 500,000 at that point, probably. Didn't Turbo win $1 million, or did he win 500,000? We're so good. We're such experts.
Big fans.
Big fans of this show, guys.
I want to play I don't want to make a prediction game, and I just want to enjoy and watch. But
Okay.
I kind of want Natalie to win.
Pamela, tell me you want to make a prediction.
I mean, if we're basing it on tonight's performance, then I
Sure.
would go,
Well, that obviously helps.
that's all I can base it on. So thus far, the consistent stars have been CT and Tori.
Yeah, it's bad bitch CT.
So, yeah, like, which would make me happy. So I'm okay with that. I mean,
Yep, and Tori's the only girl I'm rooting for, so she's the girl I think will win because, and I just think that she will. I think that she's the most well-rounded out of the other three. There's no way Nany's winning. It's just not happening. Emmy, it's her first season as a rookie. I think she's going to get overwhelmed by the moment. And I just don't want to see Casey win. I don't want to see a Big Brother person win this damn thing. And then as far as the guys go, CT, I know he already won, but he just looks so damn strong in this thing. So he's my number one, I think will win.
Yeah.
And there's something about Nelly. I know that he's on the opposite team, but he's showing so much heart. And like I said earlier, I don't think it's going to be enough for him to win though. But the heart that he's showing makes me want to root for him. He's running so fast to a helicopter when he did not have to. It's great.
He wants to help his mom open up her nail salon.
I know, and we find that about that episode 18. We had no rooting interest in him until episode 18. So there you go.
No, I always have an interest in Nelly.
You know what I mean? No backstory though of what he's going to do with the money, I guess.
I wish that this was the old school way. I do think almost all of these people deserve something. I do wish it was a staggered.
Me too.
I really do. Yeah, I wish that the first place people got 200,000 each, and then it went. Even if the last place person got only 10,000, it's like Nelly deserves something for crying out loud. So
and like what? Yeah, why did the producers think that like we're gonna give one person 1 million and everyone else gets 0? Because as a viewer, because we fall in love with some of these characters, we want them to see. We want to see them win at least something, right? Not just their daily pay or weekly paycheck. But a little something like here's $5,000 because you completed the final. Because that was the other rule. Remember, you had to complete the final to get that money too.
Yes.
Now,
just give Wendy's. They love a good like Burger King, Wendy's reward.
Yeah. No, but seriously, it's like they have.
Can we get Wendy's for life, Jenna? Because I'm running the shit out of that final for Wendy's for life.
Free Wendy's for life. Double Frosties. You get to cut the line.
Junior bacon cheeseburgers. The fries and the spicy nuggets, I'm in. Those salads are pretty good. You tried that apple salad thing?
No, but they probably get paid well to be there every episode.
No, it actually depends on their. Well, they might, Jenna, but it depends on their contract because rookies are getting the lowest amount because they just are happy to be there. They can't get Johnny Bananas on All-Star Season 3 apparently because they couldn't negotiate properly with him. So
no, apparently that's a lie rumor that he hurt his leg or something, and that's why he couldn't do.
Oh, okay.
I don't know which one is true, but that's bullshit.
With that said, Pamela, they do still have to negotiate his contract every season. He gets more than Emmy does. Like if she was to appear.
Sure.
Hey Jenny, you got something going on? I heard a ding or something. You want to share something with the class?
Yeah, it's 11 p.m. at night and my boss just chatted me.
Oh my God. Tell him or her to go to bed.
Tell her pretend it's in France where you can't contact you after work hours.
Yeah, what's that about, Pam? That's a law, isn't it?
It is in France.
I love that.
I know he's drowning though, so I got his back.
All right.
We're just trying to help you out there, Jenna. All right.
Yeah, whatever. I need a paycheck too.
Oh, ladies, should we wrap it up with some news and gossip, or is that too much tonight?
There's a shit ton. I've got one funny one, so go. I've got an easy one.
I only have one serious one, but well, I mean, I guess I'll start then. Jemmye We all know what Jemmye did. She went on her BS show and started talking all this shit. She said for weeks now that she's had a lot of answers about the Jordan and Tori breakup. She's got some tea. She had tea. Gossip, whatever. So she comes out and basically says that Tori made Jordan pay her $5,000 to move out of the shared apartment that they had together. Was that basically what it was?
Essentially.
Tori comes out and says that's not true. Basically, I bought all the furniture at Jordan's place and said, hey, I don't want to move that furniture out of your place. Give me, I think she said $3,000 for all the furniture and you can just keep it, which is fair. Jordan comes out and he says a video thing and says the exact same thing that Tori said. Basically, Jemmye, you're full of shit, and it really pisses me off. I've always hated Jemmye, so this just makes me like, oh, great, I have a really good reason now to hate on Jemmye, because Jordan confided in Jemmye and then said, Jemmye, you twisted all the things I said to you so you could get viewers on your BS show. So there you go. That's what I heard.
Jemmye's wildin', man. I mean, I definitely like her because I think that she tries to stand up for what is right for the most part, but I think that she definitely can twist things. Like she loves gossip and drama, so she's gonna make mountains out of molehills for that.
I typically like Jemmye. In this instance, Dan, I am 1,000,000%. It's like, this is the legitimate definition of exploiting something. Like, she's been teasing it. She's been promoting it. It has nothing to do with her. This is two people that were engaged real life, like that are real human people. One of them who sort of confided in her, and to take that information in order to profit, which is legitimately all it is. It was for her Patreon. And charge people for you to gossip about another couple's end of their serious relationship. And blatantly, I think she knew she was misrepresenting what she was saying.
She definitely was.
She's like, it's like when the two people involved are saying there was no cheating, you're making the sound a lot different than, it is. I made my old roommates from New York when I moved to LA buy my furniture for me too. It's not that embarrassing. It's like I brought in from my old parents' house a couch and a TV and all this shit. I'm not going to move it across the country.
Correct. It's
pay for it to keep it. You don't want to get rid of it either.
And that's like garbage. And here's the best part.
That's where I'm so down on. I'm with Dan. I'm like Jemmye. That is pretty low. Like,
and here's the best part. She put it on her Patreon so everyone would have to go pay to see all her news and whatever. People all took it and just put it on social media. Hey, Jemmye, you didn't get any money from me, sweetheart. So that was
me neither. And I got to see your bullshit gossip too. That like when the two people you're talking about both say everything she said is inaccurate.
That's what's crazy. Who's gonna pay? Who's gonna want to go on her Patreon and pay for all her news and gossip when it's not even true? Like, at least have some like facts or something.
What kind of like? I don't know. That's like, I don't even know what, there's definitely a word for that, but it's what kind of bullshit is going on if that's all you can do is make shit up that is going to be inflammatory, that is going to get attention, but you also know is not true. It's like, that is what's wrong with the world. So don't do like that.
Yeah, like, you're doing exactly what's wrong.
Why can't she do a shit?
I did think she was better than that. That's why I'm like, this is really gross. Like,
and we definitely speak on news and gossip and drama and stuff too after it's already out there, though. I think that's a big responsibility to be the first person to shed somebody's own personal issues. Like you said, this was a couple that was engaged, whatever they're going through is their problem, not for fucking you to say. It's not your business. I would be so pissed if I told somebody that was like a friend of mine. I don't know if Jordan and Jemmye are necessarily friends, but friendly enough, like coworkers, I guess. You tell them something, and then they're the one that spreads it to everybody else. That was not, I don't tell you something for you to go run and tell 1 million people. On a platform, an internet platform, it's infinite the amount of people that.
So you nailed it, Jenna. She should do a show where you tell about stories that are already out there. If she wants to do a show like that and then comment on how she feels about it, like we do, I totally get that. But to be the first to break news when it's a lie and not even true. Like if we had found something out about someone, I'm not even sure we still would start throwing their business around like that unless we heard it from an actual news and if someone puts something out on social media, then in theory, they're putting their business out there for us to comment on. But to take something that someone confided in you something, like, okay, all those great stories that Veronica told us, we've never talked about them on this show. And I've told people those stories that I confided in because they're awesome stories, but I'm not going to blab it out this way to people that I don't know. That's my point. Those stories were great, by the way. Oh my God, great story.
Especially since, again, reporting like, I just think like, what's wrong with you that's what you're I don't know. It's like a friend of yours, ostensibly, like Jordan's a friend, that's why he confided in her, and then someone you're gonna sit there and dissect their also over a year old broken up, like, what is your vendetta, basically? Like, what is your angle? Like, why would you even
She's trying to
do that?
I talked about this with Theo, and I talked about it with someone else that's trying to get back on the show. They don't have a job. This is Patreon is how she's making her only money. Our Patreon is our play money. We're gonna do fun stuff for the show with it, right?
Tiny bit of integrity.
I
You know,
think she's
if I were Jordan, I'd be pissed. Like Jordan said, because I watched both Tori and Jordan's saying the same thing, that there was no cheating, there was no buying up, that basically all her tea was not true. It was spun. And again, I'm sure she had to know that. Jordan said he made it very clear, that like, that's not what went down. But I would be embarrassed that, like, if my friend, so Dan or Jenna, if you guys confided in me something about your relationship, can you imagine, like, what would be wrong with me if I was like, Jenna said, like, it's just
it's
next, it's crazy. If it's news enough that you're going to talk about it and charge people money to listen to you talk about it, then let your good friend Jordan confide to the world what he told you if he wants.
Well, Jemmye's always been so bad at the challenge that she can never win any money on the damn show. So this is all she has left. She's trying to make money, doing something else.
I liked her. I guess she really, this really turned me around from thinking, great, this is your life. You've been in it for 20 years. You literally, this is your job. Fine, I get it. I don't begrudge anybody that, but don't drag people that I really can't tell what reason. I guess exploit them to make money. I mean, that's the only reason?
And yeah, that's what she basically, she was calling, she was saying that stuff about Tori too, right? That Tori was exploiting situations with Jordan or something like that too. But like, girl, you're doing that by exploiting their relationship on false circumstances that you made up.
And that's nothing to do with you. Like, why are you talking about this couple that are both on the same page that you are lying?
Right.
Like, the two people involved are like, that's not true. Like, what?
Did she have like a end point or thought? Was she trying to stand up for one side of the situation? That's because I haven't watched it. So that would be the only thing I could think of that could maybe give her a little bit of slack if she was trying to say like somebody was mistreated and they should be outed for
it's that.
Clearly she was saying
full gossip. Yeah, that's dirty.
It was full gossip, but at the same time she was saying that Jordan was the one that was getting abused mentally by Tori in a way, because she was like, you need to give me $5,000 for this furniture or whatever. Like, so in a way she was on Jordan's side, but she wasn't, because she literally used her friend's confidingness.
Well, she doesn't like Tori. But if I were Jordan, I'd be like, why the fuck would you do that to me? Like, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, she used it for her own benefit. Like, it's crazy to me.
I don't remember what Jemmye said. I remember it coming up as like, girl, woohoo, goss, like funny, like she wants to be Wendy Williams or something. I don't know. But I do remember, like, what stuck with me is watching Tori.
What was that? That Wendy Williams thing? What was that?
Oh, I don't know. I remember Tori being like, I was heartbroken. I remember Jordan being like, I lost my best friend. This is the story. Like, this is real people that really went. Like, it's not for Jemmye to charge people to tell a story about under her neon sign that says Jemmye. Like, that's just so trashy. And both Jordan and Tori were like heartbroken. Like, I ended my engagement with a best friend that I thought I was going to spend my life with.
Yeah. And the fact that Jordan came out with a video message for everybody, I don't know if he does those a lot, but he felt that he needed to address the situation, because he too was like, God, it's so messed up. I still think that deep down that Tori and Jordan still have some feelings for each other. I don't think they're going to get back together by any means, but I think that there's just such a history there where what's that?
they respect.
In a way,
He
yeah,
was
sure,
that is
definitely.
the saddest, worst thing about it. I watched his live, and someone said, "What's been the hardest thing for you?" And he said, "I lost my best friend. Like this is
That
Tori was my
breakups
he's
do
like,
suck
"My
when that
best
happens.
friend." No,
Yeah.
it's awful. And he said it was pandemic. We had too much, like all this stuff.
Yeah.
It was, but no one's trashing. They broke up a year ago and have never trashed each other. Like, why does Jemmye need to trash Tori?
I know.
With lies. It's so tacky. Like I wish I had it's just tacky. It's like, what is wrong?
It's true though. When you go through a breakup and you talk to this person for years and years and years, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm not allowed to talk to that person anymore. That's crazy. But luckily, all three of us have our new best friends, so we're all set.
I know, but it's so heartbreaking. That can you imagine if someone and you were to then text them and go, "Oh, do I just this bullshit?"
You still have to deal with this type of stuff years later when you're both just trying to move on at this point. I know it sucks.
Yeah, and that's someone else. Jenna, to your point, because it maybe have not been as following it. I looked at hers and she's like, "What job, bitch?" Like, as you say, get a job, like it's not having a job is a bad thing. No, like she's enjoying. I'm sure it's pumped up for social media, but it's like, I'll tell it like it is, girl. Like it just seems like I'm here to dish. Like it's like that's your persona. I don't know what she's aiming for, what she wants out of it, something clearly, but it's
that was so good.
It's annoying AF to me, but yeah.
Right. It doesn't seem like there's any end or that I have to clear the air. I've watched, someone pretend someone cheated. There's none of that. There's no like, look, as a friend,
fucked up, man.
I've known that Tori cheated forever and I have to get it out. None of that. It's just like,
it is a little bit like Jemmye, whether it's a job, it doesn't have to be a job, but like get your own life, maybe, perhaps.
Integrity. If you want to gossip, I'll listen to it all day, every day. If you want to say real things that people said, but don't make shit up.
Yeah, it was a classic nothing burger, Pam. That's what it was.
Yep. Yeah.
Burger.
And it was just sad that these two people that the people involved had to relive painful shit for her benefit. Really rubbed me the wrong way. Usually, again, I'm team Jemmye, so it's like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong right now with you that you did that? Nothing else going on in your life? I mean,
yeah, she needs I wouldn't pay for anything to watch on her Patreon now, especially. But like, what I want to see now is her acknowledging that she fucked this whole thing up and telling us, was that a mix up in the story and what she heard, or was she like, all right, oopsie, like I just wanted attention, I just wanted money, so like I kind of just made up what I wanted.
I don't know if she'll admit that. I don't know if she'll admit that.
And saying that timeline is I don't know.
She's gonna say it was a misinterpretation to save her own ass, but whatever.
Saying, look, that's what Jordan told me. Those were the facts that I heard.
When did she drop this?
Yesterday, I think.
Okay, I gotta see what her Twitter's like.
It was very, very recent.
I have a funny gossip while we look that up, because I didn't know this. This is MTVT told me. Apparently, add another notch to Fessy's bedpost. Have you guys heard about this one?
No.
Are we doing what Jemmye does though?
No, I've got receipts from the two people involved. So no. That's why I'm like, yeah, okay. This is between Amanda and Natalie.
Oh, I did see
apparently
this. Yeah.
At point, during Fessy and Amanda's on again, off again, on again, who knows, relationship, Natalie said something. What is this timeline? Natalie sort of recently posted something saying, my thing is people pointing fingers where they shouldn't be pointing. Maybe point these fingers at the person you trusted who was acting single behind your back so much that no one knew you were in the picture. I'm a girl's girl, not a homewrecker. If I knew the truth, nothing would have happened. So that's what Natalie tweeted or Instagrammed or whatever. And Amanda wrote, and I might actually have to give this one to Amanda. LOL, sis, here's the message we exchanged. She printed their exact texts where I'm clearly not pointing a finger at you. What?
Screenshotted, printed?
Screenshot it, printed, published. Okay. So no, she didn't, print it in a book. But so she wrote, LOL says, here's the messages we exchanged. I'm clearly not pointing fingers at you. You called me and we had a good conversation. Obviously so, because you follow me on IG and comment love on my pics. You said you didn't want any drama, neither did I. So what's changed? Kind of Team Amanda here. And the actual message from August 9th was, hey, Amanda, call me when you get a chance. It's Amanda, call me when you get a chance. Long story short. So Amanda's trying to she says, hey, it's Amanda, call me. Natalie says, who? And she says, Amanda Garcia. And she says, oh, great, babes, how are you? And she says, great, I just need to ask you something. And she says, hey, so I wanted to come to you and ask what's been going on with you and Fessy. Kind of weird that you're commenting on his shit and him buying you flowers. Meanwhile, I was just with him in Dallas and he's texting me trying to date me. LOL. I know he's a fuck boy, but not you. It's not you. I tried, but I figured I'd ask and see. That's actually fine. I like that.
Yeah.
And she wrote, I had no idea you were all together. And she wrote, we're not together, but he's trying to be. And what's her name? Natalie wrote, I never would have flirted or done anything had I known. And she wrote, so did anything happen? Be real with me.
Oh, this is getting good.
And then that's it that they have.
What do you mean that's it? That's the next, we need to see the next part.
The next part is, sorry, 1 sec, I'm leaving a store, I'll call you. That's the screen.
Well, we missed the juice. This could be all a fabricated story then.
So it looks like, so that was their real conversation. It looks like Natalie is now trying to stir up like calls or attention, because Natalie wrote that after the fact. Like they had this conversation in August and Natalie posted that like pointing fingers at me thing recently. And Amanda replied with like, what are you talking about? I asked
Natalie's got nothing going on either. So there you go.
Exactly. So then Natalie wrote, people online have been saying stuff. So I wanted to clear the air. Sorry, you're pressed, because I spoke out on it. And then again, I'm sort of Team Amanda here, where usually I'd be Team Natalie, I think. Amanda's like, I'm not pressed. Talk about it all you want, but don't try and act like I'm mad at you for it when I'm not, weirdo.
Yeah, I also just feel like this is also something that didn't need the internet. Like the internet, like we don't have to put everything there. We don't have to.
They do, because it's all they do.
I know, but we should just not, as humans, as a society. We don't have to write down everything we say and blast it out to the internet. It could just stay between us sometimes.
These people have a lot of time on their hands. That's all I'll say. Like they really are.
I can only imagine the stuff that they're not saying then, because here I am saying everything's on the internet between them, but maybe there's
it's not even a thing is on the internet. That's what I'm saying. I don't even think it's a thing. I think these people do get, I don't fucking know, but they obviously do. I used to be like, oh, no one's that lame that they're sitting around like trying to start fake drama to get on the challenge or on something or whatever. But I think they are.
I do too. I've been saying it for a while now.
For the next reality TV show.
Well, thank you all so much for sitting through that news and gossip. We read a book together tonight. Jenna's gonna go smell her candle. Pam's gonna go light up her light thing, her light bright in the back of her. Oh, there she goes. And I'm gonna go upload this to social media, to YouTube, so you can all see it.
Hashtag of the night is wooden_wax, which is the candle company. It's so good.
Wooden_wax. All right. I was thinking
hashtag let's come up with a good
hashtag typical Tori, because that's what people were saying about her tonight. What the hell is that about?
We're thirsty Jemmye. I'll let you pick.
Oh, or how about jaded Jemmye or something double J?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about jerk Jemmye? Ooh, I like that.
Jerk Jemmye.
All right. We'll see y'all next week for the part 2 of the final. Hopefully it's over after that and we'll get a nice reunion or not nice reunion. And we'll see you over at All Stars Friday morning. We're going to post episode 5. It's going to be exciting. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Share, like, tell everybody.
Olives.